Today, you'll know a few things by the end of this video. 1. How to absolutely destroy some Daedra without having to raise your pimp hand once. 2. How to make master difficulty easier and almost as fun as petty theft. Oh, and finally, how to beat Oblivion without dealing any direct damage yourself so you can show off to your friends and make them feel stupid. After all, isn't that what friendship's really all about online? If you learned something new or laugh a few times, be an absolute legend and like this video and subscribe to the channel. If this video somehow gets to 10,000 likes, I will literally drive to Bethesda's office and have a live-streamed, ugly cry-style emotional breakdown in the lobby until we get real answers on Elder Scrolls 6. And no, Todd, I'm not joking. I swear to God I'll do it. This is Oblivion like many of you have never even considered or experienced. The ultimate tool of manipulative devastation. The Puppetmaster. Let's start with our character build. Your character is designed to be a stealthy, slippery arcane tactician. An unarmored manipulator who never fights fair. But then again, master difficulty isn't really ever fair either, is it? For the race, I went with Argonian for a few reasons. You get poison immunity, water breathing, and disease resistance. Also, the main reason is I picked it because YouTube commenters and other content creators who can't even beat Master said it was the worst choice by far. And I like being petty because I'm jealous of their subscriber count and views they get on their videos. For my sign, I went with the Mage Burst sign. This just gives me more magicka. There are better signs, but this is meant to be a challenge run, so I didn't want to pick a sign that was too strong or that I could get too overpowered with. As far as my attributes and skills, I took intelligence and willpower for the attributes to give me a bigger magicka pool and to give me faster magicka regeneration. With faster regeneration, that means you get more casts, which equals fewer deaths. My major skills, I started with Conjuration. This is your frontline spells. This is really going to carry you through the run as this is your primary method to keep aggro away from you and to deal your damage. Our second most important skill is Illusion. My ex broke caps in this school, as it has spells for Frenzy, Command, Charm, Demoralize, Gaslighting. Actually scratched that last one. That was her origin choice. Mysticism is mainly used for Soul Trap. That's the most essential use I found with Mysticism in my run, because you'll need to be Soul Trapping Daedra whenever you can to keep your staves recharged. Alteration will help you unlock doors or shield spells for some extra protection. I will say, in my run, I didn't really utilize too much Alteration, so I think you could substitute it out for something else if you wanted to as well. Restoration's next on my list. This will help you heal yourself, heal your summons, you can fortify your attributes, or for your minions to give them some nice buffs. Alchemy lets you crank out restore fatigue potions faster than a teenage boy finding out what a sock is for. You can sling these things to vendors and bankroll your spell-making habit in no time. And if you're too lazy to figure out all the good recipes, I've already got a whole video on my channel with recipes and ingredient spots. Go subscribe, watch it, and stop being poor. Athletics is the last one. Hear me out though. I can't fast travel in this run. I'm basically running across Cyrodiil like a broke medieval DoorDash driver. And because athletics levels just for moving, it forces my character to level up faster than I'd like to, which adds some spice to the run. It's like playing with a vibrating butt plug set to random. You never know when things are going to ramp up, but you will have to deal with it. On Master difficulty, enemies do scale pretty aggressively. If you're not careful, you'll get one-shot by just about everything except for rats and mud crabs. Especially if you take my approach that I did, and you don't wear any armor or enchantments. But the good news, you won't be taking hits very often, because you'll have plenty of tools to avoid it. Your summons are the backbone of the run. Start with Skeleton, cheap, disposable, and as durable as a wet paper towel. But hey, early game you take what you can get. Skip the Scamp. Trust me, that little fireball-spitting gremlin couldn't win a slap fight at a kid's birthday party. Next up is your Headless Zombie. This beefy boy slaps hard, tanks hits, and can actually punch ghosts, which is clutch. You'll be leaning on the zombie for a while until you hit Daedra. Flame Atronach is there if you need range, but honestly, I didn't bother. Once you unlock Daedra, it's game over. This big ugly bastard hits harder than your ex during a custody hearing, runs faster than the guards in Leyawiin, and will carry you straight through the late game. The next spell on the list would be your Frenzy spells. Definitely check the list on the screen so you can see which ones you'll want to make, but this will help you turn enemies on each other. This spell is extremely important, and when you unlock spellcrafting, you want to prioritize making an area spell, as well as a touch and a target spell. Your area spell will work on many low-level enemies, whereas your touch and target spells will be able to have a higher magnitude, and should be able to frenzy any enemies that the area spell is too weak to handle. Mainly those essential NPCs, those big-name guys. They probably won't get caught in the frenzy area, and that's when you'll use the touch or the target. Command spells are straight up broken. You point, you cast, and boom! That enemy is now fighting for you, whether they like it or not. It's like walking into a bar fight, picking the biggest drunk dude, and convincing him you're his best friend. Suddenly, he's throwing hands at his own crew while you're standing in the back sipping potions. And when he dies, no problem. Grab another one. Infinite meat shields, infinite chaos. Invisibility is very important. This will help you enter, reposition, or exit without being touched. This spell is tough to be able to utilize in the run, however, as you'll need 50 illusion just to really be able to start. But if you have an illusion skill high enough to use it, it is fantastic. Invisibility helps you break any aggro you may have, and in some situations you'll find an enemy is just locked onto you and your summon can't catch up to get hits. Going invisible will help you reset the enemy and allow the summon to begin fighting it. Keep in mind, any action you take while invisible will make you visible again, unlike Chameleon, which will keep you invisible. Paralyze, Silence, and Demoralize. These are what I call your optional chaos tools. Paralyze and Demoralize being the most important, but Silence is a really effective spell that you can use as well. I recommend getting the Paralyzing Staff from the Mage's Staff quest reward, and that'll be the last quest you do for the Mage's Guild, but that's going to be a very essential tool to complete the run, because even if you don't have invisibility like I mentioned earlier, you can use Paralyze to knock the NPC on its ass, letting your summon catch up to it and deal the damage. Fortifying Speed. That's my jam. Since I can't fast travel, I'm running across Cyrodiil like a tweaker late for a booty call. Hit that speed buff and suddenly you're sprinting past guards, Daedra, and cultists like you just stole their girl. Trust me, in this run, movement speed is the difference between a clean escape and getting raw-dogged by a clanfare or two. Some healing spells are mandatory, both for yourself and for your summons. Your summons and allies are taking hits while you stand in the back like a smug little prick. And trust me, if you don't keep them healed, you're about to get tag teamed by half of Oblivion and Mehru's Dagon. Slap those heals out fast, whether it's on your meat shields or your own squishy ass. Because on Master, getting caught without a heal is pure death. You will be fucked! Now we get to the real interesting part of the video. How the hell do you beat the main quest this way? You're not a hero in shining armor. You're literally in prisoner gear. Your goal is not to smash through the main quest. It's to ghost it with precision, preparation, and perfectly placed spells and summons. You'll want to start your run off obviously by getting through the tutorial. Now, if you're a real tryhard like I was, I could not do anything during the tutorial because I didn't have a conjuration spell or any spells I could use. That being said, I had to just kind of navigate, kite enemies, and really just sprint through the tutorial, letting Boris and the other guards deal a lot of the damage. From there, I went to Vilverin, but you could also just start with the Mage's Guild recommendations. So before you even think about jumping into Oblivion and saving the world, you really want to go get this library card. Completing all 7 Mage's Guild recommendation quests as soon as possible will be very easy because they're low level, and most can be done with stealth, summons, and invisibility. You may ask, why am I doing this? As I mentioned earlier, unlocking the Arcane University will give you custom spell making, which is really essential for the playthrough. You'll also be able to enchant armor yourself, but most importantly is that first quest, the first real Mage's Guild quest you get for that Mage's Staff. Because then you can use it to get a Staff of Paralysis, which is a free rechargeable tool that lets you shut down nearly anything for a few seconds at a time. This will be extremely essential for this run. The staff alone is basically a kill machine because you can just keep using it to keep casting on an enemy and letting your summon deal free damage all the time. They can't swing if they're face down on the floor. I usually like to start my Mage's Guild recommendations with Bruma, and the reason for that is really to go in the basement of Bruma. You're going to have some glow dust down there, which I like to take and when I move over to Shadenhall, I like to stop by Azura's shrine before I do that, and that's to get Azura's Star. If you're running a spellcasting build without armor or destruction, you need to keep your best summons running, and you need to keep your gear enchanted. That means soul gems, and Azura's Star is the only one that'll never break that you can keep reusing. You'll find the shrine in the Dural Mountains, and the requirement is just being level 2 and having 1 item of glow dust. Now, once again, go to Bruma, get it from the basement of the Bruma's Mages Guild. Very, very easy to do. And the quest is going to send you to kill a den of vampires to free them for Azura. Let me be honest with you. If you do this right away, this quest is hard. You are going to be pretty limited on spells at first, so you may want to come back after spell making. But a tactic I found for this challenge was to really utilize gravity to your benefit. Come over to the rock that you'll see in the video, and if you kite the enemies as I did to chase you off, the fall damage will do more than you can do in 50 summons, considering the vampires are just going to one-shot your skeleton. Once you kill all 5 vampires, Azura's Star is yours, which will give you a reusable soul gem, perfect for recharging your Staff of Paralysis, Skull of Corruption, and more. After completing these Mages Guild quests, before heading to Weynon Priory, I would recommend exploring Vilverin or another alien ruin you may encounter in your travels. Not only do Varlastone sell for a few hundred septims of important spellmaking money, but collecting the Welkynd stones will give you an item that can refill your magicka immediately. This will be very important in some encounters, as some enemies will one-shot your summons with ease, and you'll need to have a large pool of available magicka to pull from to keep those summons up and to keep from buffing. If you use Vilverin, I can say you'll probably get between 18 to 23 Welkynd stones, which was more than enough for me to complete the entire run. So likely you won't have to do this very often. Your first objective in the main quest is to deliver the amulet to Joffrey and Weynon Priory. There's no enemies here, it's really just traveling. If you followed my guide, you should have unlocked spell making and can utilize your Fortify attribute effect to make a Fortify speed spell. This allows you to move faster between areas, especially if you're like me and you did a no fast travel run. Just get to Weynon Priory, then march your ass to Kvatch. Once you get to Kvatch, this is going to be your first real challenge. There's an Oblivion Gate and tons of Daedra. Now, depending on what level you are when you get here, this could be pretty simple or a real challenge. You have some allies on this Kvatch side of the gate, as well as an ally on the Oblivion side of the gate, so be sure to use them as much as possible. Your ally will probably get steamrolled throughout the Oblivion Gate, but hey, better them than you, right? Some tactics here is to use Summon Skeleton, or even better, Headless Zombie if you have it, as your tank. Casting Frenzy does work on Dremora to attack each other, however Frenzy will not work on anything but Dremora. Don't cast it on Scamps, Clan Fairs, or anything like that, you're wasting your time. You can help keep the Kvatch Guard alive using healing spells and buffs. If you are facing significant issues with combat, you can try using invisibility potions and really speed running through the tower. You do need to cross the tower bridge and get the sigil key from the Dremora over there, but you can avoid a majority of combat this way. Once that's done, you'll get to the Siege of Kvatch. Let the guards do the heavy lifting here. Summon and heal as much as you possibly can. Due to the amount of enemies, especially when you open the gate to the actual castle, odds are the majority of allies will be killed in short order, so healing to keep them alive is beneficial. I would avoid buffing, however, as that's going to drain a lot of your magicka that you will need for summons, and do keep in mind that one of these NPCs is essential, so at the very worst, just keep on dragging out that time, and eventually you will kill them. When I did this run, I had to kill about a dozen Flame Atriox just in the courtyard alone, so it was not an easy task. Once you get inside the castle, just keep slowly working your way through to the back, where you'll be able to get the ring, bring it back out, and you'll get some armor that you can use to sell if you're like me and you're not using armor. But that'll be all for Kvatch. After that, take Martin back to Weynon Priory where you have some small combat. Then you'll take Sean Bean, aka Martin, to Cloud Ruler Temple, where the blades will give him an ego bigger than the entire Empire. After Kvatch, and once you reach Cloud Ruler Temple, you'll be tasked to head back to the Imperial City to meet with Boris and look for Mankars' Commentaries. This is a 4-part collection of books that you'll need to discover where exactly the Mythic Dawn headquarters is. This is one of my favorite dirty tricks. When you need that third Mythic Dawn book from Gwyneth, don't talk, don't pickpocket. Just walk into the market district, drop a frenzy bomb, and watch the entire district gangbang this poor bastard in broad daylight. Guards, merchants, everyone dogpiling him like it's Black Friday at the copious coin purse. And once he's face down, free book. Next, head into that Mythic Dawn meeting with Boris. I usually roll in, lob a frenzy, and let the cultists tear each other apart in the tight little tunnels. It's free entertainment. And here's the best part. Boris? Yeah, I remember that this man tried to shank me back in the tutorial. So instead of healing his sorry ass mid-fight, I let him get jumped. I sat back and watched him get folded like a cheap ass lawn chair. Because hey, I'm petty like that. Rest in peace, Boris. Should have picked a better hobby. In hindsight, I went back and looked it up. It was Glenroy. Whoops. Now make sure you leave that meeting room the same way that you came in to avoid yourself a whole labyrinth of searching around the sewers. Simply go out through the door, go to the left, and you'll be able to go right into somebody's basement and leave. Once you have all 4 books, you'll be tasked with figuring out and translating the books in order to find the hidden message inside of it. Once you actually unlock where the Dagon Shrine is, you'll head there, and they'll take your gear as soon as you get there. That's okay though. While they can take your stuff, they cannot take your freedom! Now some tactics here is when you get into the shrine room, you'll wait for Mankar Cameron to travel to Paradise. From there, cast Area Frenzy on the group of Mythic Dawn cultists, then hide and just enjoy the show. You can re-equip your gear and use invisibility to ghost out of the cave. Paralyze enemies as you need with your mage's staff, of course. Now, as a side note, if you want to save Julius, make sure you free them before taking the book. If you want him to live, you're going to have to fight your way through the rest of the dungeon with them. It's still the same loop: summon to take enemies, heal allies, move slow and in rooms with multiple enemies, use that area frenzy to take a few out before you even try to engage with them. You really don't need to kill anyone, you just need to escape with the Mysterium Xarces. Something to keep in mind here, if you're at least level 10 at this point, and if you're not level 10, definitely keep this in mind for when you get to level 10. You'll want to buy a Grand Soul Gem from the Mystic Emporium while you're in the Imperial City, and then head to a Black Soul Gem altar. Personally, I like Dark Fissure as it's relatively close to where you are at this point, plus it's right near the Shrine of Vaermina, which is going to be our next stop. Use the following information to know what night you should be aiming to arrive for, as you can only make Black Soul Gems on certain days, which will be overlaid on the video now. You'll also know because there'll be a red light shining in the sky above the altar. To make a Black Soul Gem, all you'll do is open the altar and put in the Grand Soul Gem. Cast Soul Trap on the altar. When you open it, there'll be a Black Soul Gem there for you. And what you'll do is you'll take that to Vaermina's Shrine and give it as an offering to start the quest. This quest can be incredibly hard or pathetically easy. I'm going to show you the latter of the two though. When you arrive, instead of going through the front door like most people do, go to the left and you'll find a trapdoor in the back corner. Enter that trapdoor and you'll be able to just walk right up and grab the Orb of Vaermina without engaging in any combat at all. Once you take this orb back, you're going to get the Skull of Corruption, an almost essential and super fun tool for our run. This will actually allow us to make a clone of any NPC who will be hostile to that enemy, allowing us to put yet another body on the field for us to control. Once you return to Cloud Ruler Temple with the Mysterium Xarces, you'll be tasked with looking into some spies down in Bruma. Now, this quest is super easy. If it's nighttime, just go down the hill towards Bruma and go to that shrine that you can see right outside to the north. If it's nighttime, there should be a Mythic Dawn cultist there to kill. Use your summon and take it out. In some cases, they're actually both there as well. If there are no cultists though, just go right to Drell's house in Bruma. There's no point in wasting time. Both spies, if they're not there, should be below Drell's house in the Bruma Caverns. Once you kill them, just take the orders. So they're just 2 basic Mythic Dawn cultists. Finish them off, get the orders, get back to Joffrey, keep moving on. The next quest will require you to get Blood of the Daedra. Essentially, you need a Daedric artifact. You have many options for what to use here for a Daedric artifact. I'm going to give a lot of people heart attacks and they're going to probably yell at me in the comments, but my general strategy is to just shoot a little bit southeast of Bruma and go to Namiras Shrine. You'll want to grab some cheap wine from Bruma. There's a great stash of it in the Chapel Great Hall in the wine cellar, and check a few of those before interacting with the shrine, as you'll need a personality of 20 or less. This Daedra quest is incredibly easy and requires literally no combat. All you do is you go to the dungeon, you cast a Namiras spell on the 4 NPC enemies inside, and everything else will just be done for you, completing the quest. When you get back, you'll be told that an Oblivion Gate has opened outside Bruma, and they need your help to close it. With this one, this is just a typical Oblivion Gate, just like you've done for the allies for Bruma, if you've done any of those, or at the very least, just like the one from Kvatch. You want to get in there, get to the top of the tower, and take the Sigil Stone just like every single other one. But this time, you will have some allies with you. Now, you could jump and skip through most of this Oblivion Gate, however, I chose not to personally, and I fought through it, as at this point in the run, I really needed to recharge my gear, so I kind of utilized the Azuras Star and Soul Trap, while letting my allies deal a lot of the damage for me, just to really make sure that I had my maximum recharged gear. Allies for Bruma. Time to go city to city, beg for troops, and convince every count and countess to care that Bruma's about to get railed by a siege crawler. The Imperial City's not going to help you. Don't even bother. They're literally going to tell you to fuck off. The strategy here is simple. Loot and scoot, baby. Loot and scoot. You're not clearing towers. You're not farming loot. You're running in, grabbing that Sigil Stone, and bailing out before the Daedra even know you were there. Think smash and grab, but for Oblivion Gates. In my run, I hit every city except Weynon and Anvil, because let's be real, I was too fucking lazy to hoof it all the way out there. No way am I hiking halfway across the map for 1 or 2 soldiers when I can just go grab stones from the city I'm already going near for the quest. And remember, don't waste time fighting. You're not there to be a hero. You're here to grab stones, stack those allies, and get out clean. Loot and scoop, baby, like I said. The next mission is going to take you to Sancre, where you need Blood of the Divines. Essentially, you need to get Tiber Septim's armor, which will have some traces of his blood on it. In this dungeon, there are tons of undead and wraiths, so you can utilize Turn Undead or Summon and Invisibility combos to keep your distance. Let your Summon Daedra tank. Keep in mind that Headless Zombies can deal damage to ghosts and wraiths. You wouldn't think so, but they can. Sneak past fights wherever you possibly can. When you get to the Undead Blades, you want to really avoid taking any hits against them because they hit super hard. Keep summoning to keep the aggro away from you, and if you're being chased and can't break away, use an invisibility potion or spell. This dungeon is pretty straightforward. There's a main chamber and 4 areas in a hub and spoke pattern. When you complete one area, go back to the hub and go into the next door. Once all 4 spirits are released, they'll break the spell and allow you to collect the armor of Tiber Septim. So Martin, sends you off to get the giant Welkynd stone. And this is just your regular alien ruin with some skeletons and goblins and stuff in there. But when you grab that big glowy stone, well, I had to blur it in my footage because it looks like something straight out of an Argonian smut film. Once you touch it, the King of Miscaran spawns in swinging. Let your Daedra handle that bony bastard. Alright, the Great Gate. This is where everything pops off. Martin sends you in to stop a siege crawler from busting Bruma wide open. And out here, it's absolute carnage. Guards, blades, Daedra, limbs flying, people screaming, pure chaos. And here's the kicker. Martin can absolutely die out here. And let's be real, this man's voice actor got a worse survival rate than a virgin at a Daedric orgy. Every Sean Bean roll ends face down, and this quest is no different if you screw it up. So, name of the game. Keep him breathing while that gate fires up. Now, Joffrey, look, if he eats it, man's been side-eyeing me the whole run anyway. I'm not exactly shedding tears if the old guy catches a stray bullet. As long as Martin lives, we're Gucci, fam. Once the gate is live, it's go time. You step inside, you're on the clock. There's a giant siege engine stopping toward the gate, and if it hits before you grab the stone, Bruma turns into a crater. So, forget this hero routine. You never were one to begin with. You're sprinting like your life depends on it. Invisibility when needed, fortify speed cranked, dodging Daedra left and right. Don't even bother stopping the fight. Really, that's rookie shit. Every second counts. These towers are stacked with Dremora, ready to run an absolute train on you if you give them even half a chance to. Just beeline straight to the top, grab that big, juicy, glowing Sejusi. Rip it out and bail before the crawler breaks through the gate. That right there is the mission. Save Martin, bag the stone, and if Joffrey's body's in the dirt or under a siege engine on the way out, so be it. Really, we're not really missing much. You'll be able to enter Paradise at this point, which is Mankar Cameron's realm. I don't want to spoil too much of this part because this is really getting to the climax and the resolution of the main quest. So if you haven't done it before, I really don't want to ruin it for you. But you'll just be able to kind of work your way through it like you've done a lot of times already. So you could use invisibility to skip most of it if you have it, but really you can use summons and paralyze as needed to keep enemies down and keep your summons. Give them some free and easy hits. Most enemies, once again, you do not have to actually fight, so just keep moving forward using summons to distract pursuing enemies. You can cast Command Humanoid on Mankar's children to fight each other. Frenzy does work as well, which is really fun. When you do face Mankar himself, summon your strongest Daedra. At this point, you should have a Daedrith, so it should be very easy for you to have a nice tanky summon. You can cast Frenzy and Command to make his children turn on each other. You could always stay invisible and let the infighting wipe most of them out. Me personally, I use the Skull of Corruption to clone the Camerons for some extra fun. Once they're all dead, Paradise will be destroyed and you'll be sent back into Cloud Ruler Temple. Alright, here we go. This is the final mission. Mehrunes Dagon just kicked down the gates of reality, the capital's on fire, and we've got to escort Martin from the palace to the Temple of the One. Spoiler alert, if you want to stay pure, skip ahead to the timestamp shown on the video. Otherwise, buckle the hell up, motherfucker. Once we get outside to the palace district, it's full Daedric bedlam. Dagon stomping around like Satan forgot leg day, but still skipped the mood stabilizers. Guards are dying, blades are screaming, except for Boris and Joffrey. And I'm out here like, move, Martin, move! Because if he dies now, that's your run. It's gone. And just when you think you're safe, boom, you get to the temple district. It's sprinting time. I'm blasting through the wreckage like I'm late for a hot date with Akatosh. Because we are. Get Martin to the temple doors before a clan fear takes a bite out of him, and you're golden. Now, spoilers again, but yeah. Martin goes full divine sacrificial mode and explodes into a giant holy dragon like it's some kind of Elder Scrolls anime finale. And honestly, it's beautiful. It's poetic. It not only fulfills the prophecy, but also the contract clause that says Sean Bean must die in literally everything. From Boromir to Ned Stark to Emperor Martin. The Elder Scrolls prophecy is complete, and so is his acting pattern. And there you have it, folks. Puppetmaster on Master difficulty with no direct damage, no armor, just one filthy little wizard scamming his way through Tamriel while everyone else does the dying for him. If this degeneracy entertained you even a little bit, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and come hang out. I live stream this kind of nonsense in other games multiple times a week. You can catch all the disasters live, raw, and unfiltered. And while you're down there, drop a comment. What's the dumbest, most cursed build you want to see me mess with next on stream when I play Oblivion next time? No summons? No healing? Playing as a Khajiit? Hit me with it. I read every one.